Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Mixed Media Mayhem Day. So Kathy picked our prompt and we are to use stamping, crayons, and splatters. And then the sketch for 30 Days of Sketches is this sketch right here designed by Karen. So I think that they will match perfectly. Now for some reason, I thought my photo had to be portrait, but it's a landscape photo. I think I'm going to switch this out. So I'm going to go find a new photo, and then let's see what I can do. All right, guys, so I am starting off with a blank piece of white paper, and I'm so sorry that my camera is slightly out of focus. I don't know what is going on, but hopefully you will be able to get the gist of what I'm doing. It's not like super blurry. It's kind of like just slightly blurry. Yeah, maybe it's kind of the blurriness you see if you don't have your glasses on. I don't know. So I am pulling out some stamps and some inks. So these are archival inks, and I have them in this adorable archival travel tin. And I will tell you that I only use the archival inks when I travel because there's a good mixture of colors. I have two tins. And I used them recently when I was at a retreat, and I just wanted to keep on using them. So I'm going to go ahead and just lightly stamp this down, and I'm going to put that right on back on the sheet, and then I will grab another color blue, and I'm going to continue to do some stamping. So this is chicken wire, and it is a red rubber stamp, and it is from Darkroom Door. And I absolutely adore the red rubber from Darkroom Door. They are an Australian company, and their rubber is scrumptious. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just the best quality rubber for rubber stamping I've ever experienced in my life. And you can take that with a grain of salt because you guys know I'm not an expert stamper by any means. But for this uneducated scrapbooker who likes to occasionally stamp in her layouts, scrumptiously delicious red rubber. Okay, so now I'm going to just do the same thing, and basically I am creating a kind of background with all of these stamped images. So it kind of still gives you the same effect of like if you were using the packaging technique or something like that. So now I am going to use my distress crayons, and this is where I'm going to use the packaging technique without, there's the packaging, and I'm just coloring it on and then spraying it with water. And I'm not even using the packaging, I am using my clear mounting block. This is giving me a little bit more control over where this mixed media is going to go. And if you have never tried the packaging technique with a clear mounting block, I guess it doesn't have to be clear, with a mounting block, I say give it a try. Now I'm also going to be using this silvery distress crayon, and I'm going to do the same thing. Now I decided to go with the blue and silver because I do change the photo that I had originally planned on using in this layout. And I'm just using up the little bits of silver there and trying to get just a hint of color. So this layout is going to be less about the mixed media, and I know that that sounds terrible on Mixed Media Mayhem Day. But less about the mixed media and more about the color and the feeling that this layout gives me. And the mixed media is a huge part of that, and I just go crazy with the splatters. I'm just like, let's just slap them down there. So now I have to clean off my mat a little bit because, hello, there's blue everywhere. The mat is definitely getting old and used and stained, and I love it. Like, I love the fact that the mat is being used. The mat will probably stay until the grid lines fade away, and then I'll flip it over, and once those grid lines fade away, maybe then it'll be time to get a new mat. Plus, I haven't seen any mats out there that are in a color that I really like, And I would prefer not to scrap on top of white. I know that that might sound funky because I know that those glass mats with the grid lines are all the rage, but I would prefer not to scrapbook on top of white. There's just something about it. So I'm using some specialty card from Tonic, and it is this silvery paper right here. I'm also using a square of fabric. So this is a blue and white fabric. Now this is a photo of Space Mountain looking across the lake at Space Mountain. And I know I'm covering up all that beautiful textured fancy cardstock, but it's just giving me that little bit of a hint on the outside of it, and that makes my heart happy. Now I am going to adhere this cardstock down to the fabric with some Nouveau Deluxe adhesive, and what that's going to do is allow that cardstock and the fabric to get a good grip and adhesion together. Okay, so I've got that down there. I'm already a little bit funky for my photo. It's already supposed to be a landscape photo, and I've turned it into a 4x4 square. But you know what? You do you on your sketch, right? Like, make it work for you. If you don't have a photo that is a landscape like that, and you only have portrait, or you only have square photos, then use what you have, right? Like, you can't sit there and go, oh man, I can't do this sketch. I don't have any landscape photos. Who cares? Who cares? Nobody cares. Do what you want, right? Like, do what you want. So I do go ahead and trim that piece of paper. Now I am going to add a little bit of a contrasting color to this. So I will tell you guys, I thought that this layout was just going to be blues and silvers and grays, right? Like, I was just going to leave it that way because the photo and the filling of Space Mountain, very blue, silver, and gray to me, right? And I don't. I do something else. I add a little, and it's just a tiny little bit of a pop of color. I was thinking about using this space paper. I thought it would be cool to kind of have some of the rings showing, but the way that it was coming on the page, and it was going to cover up too much of what I had going on down on the background of the layout, I just wasn't happy with it, right? So I'm going to put that off to the side, and I'm flipping through my papers. And eventually, I decide to pull out a My Mind's Eye paper pad. Can we all just take a moment and be so sad that My Mind's Eye is no longer making scrapbooking products? And they haven't for a couple months now. Has it been a couple months now? It can't be a year yet, right? It can't be a year yet. So I pull that out, and I'm like, ooh, this little pop of yellow. I am digging this. This is making me happy. Like, it's yes. And I don't know how to describe that yellow, but it's not a mustardy yellow, but like kind of like the burnt browny orangey yellow. Really have no words to describe what it is, but that yellow is my jam right now. Like, I'm very attracted to that yellow color. It's very pleasing, and I just love it. So I got some dish towels in that color. I also have a sweatshirt in that color. Makes me happy. So see what I'm saying? It's just a tiny, tiny little bit of that yellow peeking out and poking through. And for me, that literally makes all the difference on this layout, is that tiny little extra bit of color. So up here, I'm going to create a cluster, and it is not going to be exactly as the sketch goes. As you can tell, I've already messed up the sketch, like messed up in quotes, just because I am doing what I want to do. And I'm not exactly sure where I'm going. Like, the title is supposed to be on a little square above the photo, but that's not happening because I don't want it to go there, right? So it's not going to go there. I still am loving my mixed media that I have on the background. I'm loving the stamping bits. I'm loving all of the fun bits. So now I take this silver washi tape, and it is a bright silver washi tape, and I'm just going to lay it down so that it gives me that little bit of shining, shimmering, splendid on the right upper hand corner, and also I'm going to place it here and that's going to give me a little bit of the Shining Shimmering Splendid as well. So I'm trying to kind of follow the sketch, but I also am, you know, going the way I feel, right? So it's very difficult to explain when you are I feel this way, so I'm going to do it scrapbooker. It's just something that you can start out, that's just the way you do it, or you can evolve. Like my scrapbooking has evolved to more of an emotional scrapbooking situation than it ever was. You know, the products I use need to reflect how I feel or felt in the moment, at the moment of the photo, or how I feel now. And yeah, I could totally do a class on scrapbooking by your feelings, right? And like every lesson would be do what you want. Do what you want. Do what you want. So like what in the heck? Kind of funky. So now I have space, and because this is Space Mountain, and then I'm going to find the lower, because the letters are going underneath. The word mountain is going underneath the space, so I'm going to find the lower portion of the title, and that is going to be mountain. And I am doing it backwards because I know where I want the word mountain to end. It does not matter as much to me where the word mountain begins. So I'm just going to get them on. Now this is a black letter sticker with some silver. And yes, I am introducing black onto the layout, but you know what? Black is just really dark gray, so it's not like it's another new color, right? Right. That's what we're going with, people. That is what we're going with. So I'm still thinking that this needs a little bit of something. Not exactly sure what, so I'm going to pull some enamel dots, and I have some gray enamel dots, and I am going to place them around. Now I like 3 enamel dots together, or even spread apart, but I like them to be different sizes. That makes me happy, right? Like the 3 different size enamel dots make me happy. They can be all different colors, they can be different shapes, they can be all the things. Like it doesn't matter, but I do like 3 different sizes. That just makes my little heart happy. So I also have these sparkly enamel dots, and I thought, ooh, I would like to mix my gray enamel dots and my sparkly enamel dots. So I go ahead and do that. Not that you can really see it because the video is a little blurry still. So you might be able to see it in the close-ups. Now this is going to end the layout except for a little sketchy border around the outside. I just felt like the mixed media in the background was kind of just going off into the ether, and I needed a little something to contain it, and this black pinned outline is going to do it. So there it is, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you check out everyone who is playing along with 30 Days of Sketches, and also check out everyone who does Mixed Media Mayhem. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.